Like a lot of people are like, I want to save farmland. But the problem is we're saving the land. We're just not saving the farmers.
There's no shortage of farmland. They're protected in Oregon. What there is a growing shortage of farmers.
We're asking for your help to be a voice in support for our family farm and for family farms and farm stands across the state.
Some Oregon family farms raising the alarm after the state said they are planning to propose changes to some farm permitting policies. We're talking about farms that so many families flock to on weekends and throughout the holidays, like Topaz Farm on Sauvie Island and the Wooden Shoe Tulip Farm in Woodburn. You may have seen on social media this week cries for help from these farms and many others, saying the potential changes the state is talking about making would force them to close. Here's a video posted by Wooden Shoe Tulip Farm.
Some of these proposed rule changes would affect what we offer in our shops. It would affect the activities that we're able to offer on our farm.
This week, I caught up with the owners of Topaz Farm, Kat and Jim. Topaz is known for things like a market selling fresh local produce, a summer concert series, farm-to-table dinners, and a sunflower festival, among other things. They also grow their own vegetables, but selling those alone is not nearly enough, they say, to make ends meet, which is why they rely on those other attractions.
The realities of farming are horrible, meaning the economics are just terrible. It's extremely difficult at this scale to make any money. You have to have diversification. If you can't have a farm stand or farm-to-table dinners or harvest festivals in the fall, sunflower festivals, these are the kind of things that allow you to stay in business.
Those at Topaz tell me they've had talks with state leaders about what they need to make it easier for farms like theirs to survive.
Last fall, we started working with some other farmers, and we went down to Salem. We got meetings with the governor and with legislators to try to make it so that all farms, small, medium farms, can open their doors to farm-to-table dinners, to field trips, to have the opportunity to apply for a farm stand.
So we went and everybody seemed really concerned and they were going to help, and so we're going to streamline these rules. And so the rules that just came out last week were the streamlined versions, but the surprise to all the farmers was the streamlined versions are so much worse, to the point where we, yelled for help.
Well, out of the middle of nowhere, DLCD, Department of Land Conservation Development, created a RAC, a policy group, and they've come back with these rules that will essentially shut us down and shut agritourism farms down all around the state.
The State Department of Land Conservation and Development is trying to, quote, improve policies around farm stands. Here's Alexis Hammer, the department's legislative and policy manager.
We have the important and challenging task of establishing and updating the statewide planning framework, balancing goals like conserving agricultural land and natural resources while focusing development in the right locations. So there were conversations at the legislature in the 2025 session exploring the ways that we could build consensus towards an improved policy on farm stands and agritourism permitting to add clarity and simplify the permitting process.
The farm stands are structures designed and used for selling crops, products, or livestock grown on that farm. Under state law, farm stands may also hold some outdoor events and sell items that are not farm products, like souvenirs. Other larger activities like farm-to-table dinners, mazes, and music events may also require an agritourism permit, which is different than a standard farm stand permit. When we talk about agritourism, that's things that could have a broader impact on surrounding neighbors. But the state tells me they are looking to change rules around farm stands only. That's where a lot of the confusion has been the last couple days. The state didn't have any concrete details for me until today, which helps clear things up. Here are those proposed changes. First is to clarify what type of activities can operate without a farm stand permit, like U-Pick and free educational tours. Make it so any non-farm products sold at farm stands must relate to the products that are grown on the farm. Okay, like vases for cut flowers or carving kits for pumpkins, those would be allowed because they relate to what's grown on the farm. Another proposal is to clarify standards to prevent neighbor conflicts with surrounding homes and other farms, like issues with traffic, parking, and trespassing. Clarify what kind of events are allowed at farm stands, which ones would need a permit, which ones wouldn't. For example, flower arranging classes, hay rides, and cow trains are allowed and would not require a permit. But 18 or more farm-to-table dinners a year, weddings and concerts, while they would also be allowed, would require a permit and a thorough review of how they would impact nearby farms. The state was talking about making farmers reapply for farm stand permits every 7 years, but we're told today the state is no longer moving forward with that idea.
If you're only selling things on your land, you don't even need a permit at all. And if you are selling things that are not grown on your land but are grown in Oregon, a permit is required, but it is something that's allowed outright, and it's a straightforward, simple permit to achieve.
Again, that is the list of proposed changes to farm rules that the State Department sent me today, which, after listening to farmers' concerns, appear to be different than the proposals they've seen or been told. Local farmers are under the impression many of the attractions they depend on to stay afloat would be stripped away, which does not appear to be the case, according to the rules shared with us today. And there may be a reason for that discrepancy.
Well, I mean, there's some misinformation campaigns going around that are motivated by people that want to undermine the land use system, to be honest with you. And this is like a tool to get people all hyped up about hating the land use system. But that's a bigger story.
Okay, that's not certainly helping this situation at all. So I asked the state about adding new permit requirements, which is under consideration, and if that would just mean more paperwork and red tape for small family farms.
We've heard that from a lot of farmers, and we are listening. So I would first of all just mention that, we want to make rules that are workable for farmers. And we also want to make sure that, sometimes a permit will be established for someone to have a farm stand and sell, their own farm products or farm products from nearby. And that can grow into a major business that can have really big impacts on neighbors. And so we want to be able to balance those concerns and make sure that we're having good neighbors and, making sure that farmers can still make enough income to meet their needs.
The president of Friends of French Prairie, a nonprofit that advocates for sustainable farming and watches out for critical land use issues, is for changing farm stand rules, saying in a statement in part, there has unfortunately been a significant lack of oversight and enforcement. Farm stands that are selling artichokes, pineapples, mangoes, Italian pasta, pottery, etc., are clearly not sourcing those items from the farm, from neighboring farms, or the nearby region. Further, many have evolved essentially into mini theme parks or restaurants. Friends of French Prairie encourages the Rulemaking Advisory Committee to both address the need for enforcement as well as language that clarifies which items can and cannot be sold to promote local farm crops and the geographic range from which they can be sourced. This drama is just the beginning. Any changes to farm stand rules won't be finalized until next year. The state will release formal proposed rules through the Secretary of State later this year. The community will then have about 2 months to review them and give input. A Rulemaking Advisory Committee is meeting tomorrow in Salem to talk about all of this. The timing of these meetings, though, not great for impacted farmers.
And of course, they're doing all these hearings and meetings right in the middle of farming season. Any farmer like us is working, 12, 16 hours a day. There's no time to be going down to Salem and sitting through all-day meetings.
We ask you to write in support for farm stands across the state. Share your favorite memory. Share what you hope for farm stands for the future, and also help us advocate.
The system will only work if we listen to and incorporate the values of Oregonians to protect what we love about our beautiful state and support the farmers that feed us.
Okay, so everyone involved here says they want to hear from you, and you can send your thoughts to the state by emailing the address there at the bottom of your screen, farmforest.comment.dlcd.oregon.gov. We'll leave it up for you just a few more seconds. That email one more time, farmforest.comment@dlcd.oregon.gov. Now, many of you already have our email address memorized, and we want to hear from you as well. What are your thoughts on these early proposed rule changes? Email us, thestory@kgw.com, or call and leave us a voicemail, 503-226-5090.